You see this ribbon of water cutting through Istanbul? For centuries, it's been so much more than just a passage. It's been a geopolitical fulcrum, a place where empires are literally made and broken. And today, it is right at the center of an epic struggle over Turkey's entire future. Okay, let's just take a look at the geography here because it's pretty incredible. The Bosphorus is this 19-mile-long natural choke point. It is the only way for ships to get from the Black Sea out into the world's oceans, and it slices right through the middle of Istanbul, a city of 15 million people. This unique spot on the map gives Turkey massive strategic power, but it also comes with an equally massive risk. To really get a sense of that risk, just look at this number. 84,640. That's how many ships squeezed through these straits in a single year not too long ago. That sheer volume makes the Bosphorus one of the most crowded and, frankly, one of the most dangerous waterways on the entire planet. And look, this isn't some abstract danger. This is real. On the left, you're seeing a ship that is literally plowed into a historic mansion on the shoreline. And on the right, that's the tanker Nasia, on fire after a collision back in 1994 that killed 29 people and completely shut down the strait for days. These aren't just hypotheticals, they're the catastrophic realities of living on this maritime knife's edge. Now, you might think this is a modern problem, right? All this traffic? But the truth is, this crisis has incredibly deep roots. The challenge of navigating and controlling this very strait is pretty much as old as the city itself. I mean, think about it. Go all the way back to ancient Byzantium, through the Roman and Ottoman empires, and one simple truth has always held firm. Whoever controls the Bosphorus controls the entire region. The power to tax, trade, to regulate it, or to just flat-out block passage has always been the ultimate key to power around here. So, faced with these very 21st century dangers in this ancient waterway, Turkey proposed a solution. And it was a solution of such unbelievable ambition, a project so big that it earned a nickname that just fits perfectly. Çılgın Project, the crazy project. That's what the media started calling it when then Prime Minister Erdoğan announced it way back in 2011. And you know what? It's a name he proudly embraced, basically framing it as proof of Turkey's bold, visionary ambition. So what is this crazy project? Well, it's called Canal Istanbul, and it's a plan to carve a massive 45-kilometer artificial canal right through the European side of the city. Now, to give you some scale, it's planned to be significantly wider than the Suez Canal. So we're not talking about a little ditch here. This is a man-made sea passage. Now, the official reasoning for all of this is pretty straightforward, and on the surface, it makes a lot of sense. The idea is to create a second Bosphorus. Proponents argue it's a safer, more controlled alternative that would finally ease the dangerous congestion in the natural strait, prevent those horrific accidents, and really secure the future for both Istanbul and global trade. But here's where this grand, ambitious vision runs headfirst into a massive conflict: the economics of it all. Is this a golden ticket to prosperity, or is it a one-way trip to a financial black hole? This slide just lays out the competing visions perfectly. On one side, you have the supporters who see billions in future toll revenue, a huge boom in jobs and real estate, and Istanbul cementing its place as a top-tier global trade hub. But on the other side, critics see a crippling mountain of debt and a huge opportunity cost. All that money could be spent on, say, earthquake-proofing the city. And here's the core of the problem. The project is going to cost somewhere between $15 and $25 billion. To pay for that, you obviously have to charge ships some very hefty tolls. But right next door, you have the original Bosphorus, where an international treaty from 1936 guarantees free passage for all commercial ships. So how in the world do you make your toll road profitable when there's a free superhighway running right beside it? And this, right here, is the legal heart of the whole issue, the Montreux Convention. For almost a century, this treaty has been the law of the land in these waters. It says commercial ships from any country can pass through for free. It also gives Turkey control over the passage of warships, which is a huge deal for countries like Russia, since it limits the access of other navies into the Black Sea. It's really the legal bedrock of the entire region's stability. So this all boils down to one fundamental question, doesn't it? Can this hugely expensive 21st century mega project ever actually work financially when it's legally tied to a 20th century treaty that was designed for free access? That right there is the multi-billion-dollar dilemma. So the debate over money and treaties is already fierce, right? But this project has also ignited an incredibly intense political battle for the very soul of Istanbul. This quote from Istanbul's mayor, Ekrem İmamoğlu, just perfectly captures the ferocity of the opposition. He doesn't just disagree with it, he calls it a murder project. So you know this isn't just some simple policy debate. It's a deep, ideological fight over what the city's future should even look like. And you can see this constant push and pull play out in the project's timeline. It gets announced with all this fanfare back in 2011. But then, in 2019, an opposition mayor gets elected who immediately launches a campaign to stop it. Then there's a symbolic groundbreaking in 2021, but by 2025, the whole thing is effectively stalled, just caught in this limbo between political will and economic reality. So, after all that drama, where does Canal Istanbul stand today? Well, its future is, let's just say, about as murky as the waters of the Bosporus on a foggy morning. I mean, check this out. The official government stance is a masterclass in contradiction. In the same week in 2025, you had one minister saying the project is not currently on our agenda, while another minister insisted we have not abandoned the project. We will definitely do it. So which is it? Is it shelved or is it inevitable? The official answer, confusingly, seems to be yes. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that for Turkey's leadership, this was never just about ships and tolls. It's about raw power. A brand new, totally Turkish-controlled waterway, one that's not governed by that old Montreux Convention, would be a permanent geopolitical trump card, giving Turkey incredible leverage for generations to come. And that leaves us with the ultimate question. Is this great gamble, this crazy project, a visionary lifeline that's going to secure Istanbul's future? Or is it a catastrophic mistake that could bankrupt a nation and scar this historic city forever? For now, the next chapter for this ancient strait remains unwritten.